Now, if we think about the technology habits that have shifted when it comes to voice, there is finally some data out there that tells us more and more about this acceleration that's taken place. For example, we know that almost 50% of smart speaker users say that they are using voice assistants more. That is as of the spring of last year. We also know, and this is kind of fascinating to think about people's comfort level with advertisements, that about 58% of consumers actually find smart speaker ads to be less intrusive than other formats. And that's up from about 43% in May of 2009. And again, this goes back to this conversation that we can have about opportunities that exist. If we know that people are comfortable with this idea that they are using smart speakers to order things and they're okay getting advertisements, it opens up a whole new world for marketers. And finally, 53% of people reported that a smart speaker ad drove them to make a purchase. Again, as someone who's following these trends that are taking place, I think we probably anticipated that this would take 5 to 10 years for people to finally feel comfortable with smart speakers as well as voice assistants. And now it feels like it's happened almost overnight. So when we talk about smart speaker habits and shopping by voice, we can see the numbers here as well are skyrocketing, expected to reach about $40 billion by the year 2022. And so I encourage you to start to watch how people in your own home study up on how smart speakers and voice technology work to start to understand this consumer shift. Now, what does this mean for cities around the world as one example? We're already seeing places like Las Vegas that have said to their residents that we believe that voice is an important way to communicate in the future. They have said that in the city of Las Vegas, they're going to make it super simple for people to be able to get information about things like what time do the tennis courts open and which parks have tennis courts? When is the next council meeting and what is the status of my building permit? All of that can potentially be accessed through voice. Now, they're not just doing this because this is another shiny thing that you can do in the city of Las Vegas. They're doing this because if you think about the cost of a smart speaker, it's much less expensive than a smartphone or a laptop, which can cost you $1,000 or even $1,500. And yet to buy a new smart speaker, we're talking $30, $40, $50. So in many ways, Las Vegas is doing this because it actually makes information more accessible along